Hey everyone, Notorious here. Welcome back to my channel. In this episode, we're going to take an in-depth look at what is possibly the best termination knot of all time, the poacher's knot. Not only will I teach you how to tie this knot, but I will teach you one of its variants, as well as demonstrating how to use this knot to create an eye-to-eye hitch cord out of just a length of hitch cord. With that out of the way, let's get right to it. These are poacher's knots. The poacher's knot is in a class of knot known as termination knots. A termination knot, by definition, is any knot that is used to securely connect the end of a rope to a piece of hardware, or to really anything for that matter. Here you can see I've demonstrated this by connecting a variety of different ropes to different pieces of climbing hardware. In my opinion, the poacher's knot is easily the best termination knot that any climber can learn. I say this because A, it is extremely easy to tie, B, it is extremely secure, C, it can be used for life support applications with confidence, D, it can be adjusted to fit around essentially anything you need it to due to its slipped nature, which I'll demonstrate in a moment, and E, it is easily the best choice for anyone who wants to use a piece of friction cord or hitch cord to create their own eye-to-eye. Another major benefit of the poacher's knot is that compared to other options for connecting a rope to an object or to a piece of hardware, the poacher's knot results in a very compact knot. And this knot does not require a lot of rope to tie, and that can be hugely beneficial in a lot of circumstances and situations. And if I remove this hardware, you can see that the poacher's knot is actually slipped. And this is great for a lot of reasons too. This will allow someone to create a loop of any size and affix it around an object and then cinch it down securely. How about I teach you how to tie the poacher's knot? Tying a poacher's knot is quick and easy. Take the end of your rope and pass it through the object you wish to connect it to. Now, double it over itself and then take the working end and cross it behind the standing end like this. Then take your thumb and your index finger and pinch the part where it crosses over. So X marks the spot. So right here, I'm going to pinch right at the X. And then with my working end, I'm going to start wrapping around the standing end and my index finger. Okay? So once, and then a second time, and at this point we can remove our index finger and we will have something that looks like this. To finish and secure the knot, we take our working end and pass it through that opening that we just maintained with our index finger, and you will result in a knot that has a crossover on one side. On the other side, it should be parallel, and then you will have a loop. To secure it to the object, simply slide the knot down and pull on the standing end. And there you have it. That is the poacher's knot. Before I talk about the variant that I wanted to teach you, the interesting and useful variant of the poacher's knot that is worth learning, we first need to briefly take a moment to discuss terminology and nomenclature surrounding the poacher's knot. Now, a lot of you may have heard this knot being called the double fisherman's knot. For some reason, especially among tree climbers and arborists, the name double fisherman has been perpetuated for years. Anyone who has spent any time watching tree climbing content that isn't my own has likely heard a professional, or at least a tree climber, on multiple occasions refer to the poacher's knot as a double fisherman's knot. Now, this simply has never been and never will be a correct name for this knot. What is another correct name for the poacher's knot is the double overhand noose. And that's because the poacher's knot is constructed using a double overhand. And if we look here, this is a double overhand. It is typically used as a stopper knot, and if we look at each knot structure, we could see the similarities. So the crossover on one side, and then the parallel strands on the opposite side. Now, the only difference between a poacher's knot and a double overhand is that the poacher's knot is a double overhand that is tied on the standing end of itself after being wrapped around a piece of hardware. So that results in a slipped loop that in the beginning you saw me demonstrate that it can be created into a loop of any size, and that is, in knot terminology, considered a noose. And the only knot that actually has the name double fisherman's correctly applied to it is the double fisherman's bend. And this is the double fisherman's bend. Here we can see that it is constructed of two double overhands. Each one is tied by a separate rope in opposing directions on each rope's standing end. So a bend, unlike the poacher's knot, which is a termination knot, is a method for securely connecting two ropes together. If you simply go to your search engine, whichever one you use on the internet, and type in double fisherman's knot, 95% of the results that you will see will be for the double fisherman's bend. And maybe 5% of them will be for a minute handful of websites that have erroneously or incorrectly labeled the poacher's knot as the double fisherman's knot. So if the double fisherman is named such because it is constructed out of two double overhands, then the poacher's knot, which is constructed using only one double overhand, cannot possibly be a double fisherman, okay? It's not double anything except a double overhand. So don't be that guy. Please don't call the poacher's knot anything but the poacher's knot or a double overhand noose, because double fisherman's has been perpetuated for far too long by people, especially in the tree climbing community, and it really ought to be stopped. I mean, it's wrong. It's just not correct terminology. And so with that out of the way, we can look at the variant that I wanted to show you, which is this knot here, which is a poacher's knot that is tied with an extra wrap. And the correct name for this knot is a triple overhand noose. And while it is more secure than the poacher's knot, it is not necessarily stronger, okay? Because ultimately, the strength of the rope, if we were to tie these knots, both these knots using the same exact type of rope, the strength would ultimately be the same, but the security would be stronger with the triple overhand variant. So let me demonstrate really quickly how to tie this variant. Now, one cool thing that I haven't mentioned so far about the poacher's knot and pretty much any variant of it is that they're really easy to untie by simply removing the hardware that they're affixed to and then just pulling them out like that. So if I do the same thing with the poacher's knot, can take it, and to untie it, all we have to do is just pull it out like that. So that's a really cool little hack. So you don't have to spend your time trying to untie this knot for very long. Now, to tie the triple overhand noose, all we're going to do is start exactly like we would with a poacher's knot or a double overhand noose, but we're just going to do a third wrap. So we need some extra tail, and we're going to cross over, pinch it, and then we're going to go around our finger once, then twice, and then instead of taking this working end and putting it through at this point like we would with the poacher's knot, we're going to go around one more time, and now we can remove our index finger, and with this cavity here we can stick the working end through, and this results in a knot that should have 3 parallel strands on the reverse, and on the front it should have 2 strands crossing over 1 strand. So very similar to the poacher's knot, and again, it is more secure, but it is also bulkier and not necessarily any stronger. Another great way to use the poacher's knot is to create eyes to form your own eye-to-eye hitch cords. Now, typically, when you buy a fully made hitch cord from an arborist supply store, they come in only 3 major lengths. So you can get a 28-inch long cord, a 30-inch long cord, or a 32-inch long cord. And you also have the option of either getting sewn eyes or spliced eyes. And these generally aren't super expensive, but you know, they cost a lot more money than if you were to do it yourself. How would you do it yourself? Well, it's quite simple. First, pick a hitch cord that you really like and buy it by the foot. And so here is a 5-foot length of 8mm Yale Veritas hitch cord that I bought, and I made the ends nice and neat by simply whipping, gluing, and taping them. And now, with this length of hitch cord, I can not only create my own eye-to-eye, but I can tie any friction hitch that I want. I can tie a hitch that would be great for a 28-inch long hitch cord, or even a 32-inch long hitch cord. And I don't have to buy 3 different lengths of hitch cord. I just need this one length of cord. That's because I can put a poacher's knot on one end. Okay, so just tie a poacher's knot on one end, and that forms one of my eyes, okay? And then I just tie whatever friction hitch I want to tie. So I'm just going to demonstrate with a popular mainstream hitch. In fact, it's my favorite of all the mainstream hitches, a catalyst hitch. So I'm going to start by tying the hitch. So I'm going to wrap it around, then once, twice, 3 times, then one more time, and then open this up, put my leg through, and now I've tied a catalyst hitch. And to finish my eye to eye, all I have to do is tie a second poacher's knot on the right leg. So okay. And once you've done that, you have a fully functional friction hitch, and you can take your carabiner, capture those eyes, and look, she grabs. Might want to adjust it and set it a little more, but yeah, you can see that you can create your own hitch cords and your own eye to eyes. And if I wanted to, I could install a pulley here and use it on a lanyard for slack tending, for an adjustable lanyard, or I could use it with a rope wrench, or I could use it on a moving rope system like a hitch climber setup. So this is a really great way to use the poacher's knot to create a eye to eye out of a hitch cord. All right, with that out of the way, that concludes my deep dive discussion and demonstrations on the poacher's knot, plus bonus rant about nomenclature and terminology. If you enjoyed this video, please show your support by liking this video. Additionally, if you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that way you'll be alerted as soon as a new video gets published. Also, I currently have a GoFundMe fundraiser running right now. The link to that fundraiser can be found in the description for this video. I'm trying to raise money to buy a line scale 3, which is a dynamometer and a force measurement device. That way I can make interesting content regarding force measurement and tree climbing and knots, and also do some brake testing. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, be sure to check out my channel for more hitch how-tos, knot tutorials, and climbing videos. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.